Hi, hello creatives, welcome back or to my channel. My name is Lindsay and today we are diving into the very first plan with me for 2023, my January setup. I am first going to go into and show you my supplies that I'll be using today, which I opted to include 2 different scrapbook papers because I have tons and tons of 12 by 12 scrapbook paper that I want to use. My A5 size Archer and Olive notebook from one of the subscription boxes, my Unipin fine liners. I have 3 different sizes here that I generally always use, the 0.1, 0.3, and 0.5. 0.1, 0.5, and 0.8. And then I'm using a dark blue mild liner as well as a blue brush mild liner. Really wanted to, use some brush lettering. It's honestly my first time using this mild liner. And then I've recently bought a Food No Soke pen that is the hard tip, but this is in a gray color instead of the black. I'm using some washi tapes. I will have everything linked below as much as I can for if you wanted to use this in your setups. I'm using some phrase stickers. I'm going to decide whether I want to use the black or the white. I'm not sure yet. And then a bunch of sticker sheets from my 4 Bears sticker subscription, monthly subscription. And you'll see that I have some that are already used that I just want to kind of try and use up. And then these 2 that I showed at the end will be my main focus. And as always, what I always do with my setups is always going to be a bunch of photos that I've printed from Pinterest. I will have my Pinterest board linked below so that you can definitely check those photos out if there's anything that you like and want to include in your own spreads. But yeah, so everything will be linked in the description box as much as I possibly can. And right now, diving right on into January. So if you've missed my 2023 setup, I'll have it linked in the card above here. But if you missed that setup, I go into detail to just kind of mention that my bullet journal, I think I have from November all the way up until the end of the year. July, sorry. July is my first month in this bullet journal, but I still have lots more room for more months. I have actually still a third of the book left. So then I opted not to put my 2023 yearly spreads in this journal. I opted to make a separate journal for just my yearly collections. And in this journal, I will continue to use for my monthly setups. I tried to do my yearly setup in the middle of a journal last year, and it just didn't, for 2022, and it just really didn't work out for me. I, never really went back to the yearly spreads in the middle of the journal. So yeah, that's why I opted to just create a completely separate journal for just my yearly spreads, and then I'll continue with the monthly spreads in this journal. So working on my cover page, you'll see that I'm writing out January now, and this is I love the look of adding 2 drop shadows to my spread or to my lettering. I really like how that looks. And as you see, I obviously I cut out some pieces from the scrapbook paper. And right now I'm laying out a bunch of stickers that I actually printed myself just from Pinterest. I just look up printable stuffs. I save the photo. I print it out on sticker paper. And then as I'm watching a movie or whatever I'm doing, I will then go out and, fussy cut each little sticker, but I really like it. So, because I'm a maximalist, if you watched my 2023 setup, I love all of the things, a bunch of colors, a bunch of photos, a bunch of stickers, washi tape, give me all the things I want to include it. And then that's probably because I'm really not a fantastic drawer. So I'd much rather deal with stuff that I can just, stick down onto my journal pages. So so because I am a maximalist, I love to fill my page. As you see, my cover page here is pretty much filled. I do have, obviously you see that it says Winter Wonderland on the left-hand side, which is kind of the theme of this setup. My last year, actually for January 2022, setup was like a blue winter theme. And this is very close. But I mean, it's still blue because I feel like just with a lot of winter snowy colors, they're just blue photos. And as you see, I forgot to add in the phrase stickers like I did in my last setup, but luckily I caught it in time to kind of do it. I put on live your dream, dream with passion, great things take time, and do your best. So and then choose to see the good stuff. So all nice little quotes to prepare myself for the new year, and heading right into my monthly calendar page, which again, I've basically done this setup. I don't really change it up too much. If something works for me, it works. Sometimes I don't really like being too adventurous in my journal with different setups, because I just want to make sure that I'm able to have everything that I need. And because I do use my monthly calendar to write things in of when my bills and stuff are due, I want to make sure that I have enough room to write. So then I pick out a bunch of the photos that I print out. After I've cut them and I've snapped my fingers and they're all cut for you, I then like to organize them by size, just so that it's easier for me to pick out which photos are going to fit on a page. Because as you see for my monthly calendar here, I don't have a whole lot of room to put stickers, or at least those pages or those bigger stickers, because I only really have the right hand side that's a little slim, and then the top and bottom that is always a lot smaller than what I have for a photo. So, but I like to, pick out the skinny photos, and if I need to trim them up a little bit so that they'll fit on the side, then I do that. And I always like to kind of have a background photo, like what I have with those blue trees at the top, to go kind of behind the title. And I really like how, the title looks on like a craft paper here. These are just, honestly, this craft paper that I'm using is just from my Amazon packages. When they fill the Amazon package with that brown kind of paper to just fill up the box so your item doesn't move around, I then fold them up and keep them, because I like that this paper is not as thick as cardstock, as cardstock craft paper. So, it doesn't bulk up your journal as much, because again, I put on so many pictures and stickers and stuff that I want to have a little bit less bulk. So that paper that you get in Amazon is actually quite handy. And then generally speaking, at the end of my spread, once I've kind of done the pen marks for what I need on that page, then I'll go in and add the larger stickers, some washi tape as backgrounds and stuff, and then I go in with that final touch of those stickers that I printed out. And as you see here, I actually did a little bit of a boo-boo when I was drawing the lines for the monthly calendar. So I just actually went in with a jelly roll and fixed that up. And as you saw quickly there, I had my monster as I was doing this setup. And so I was just using to that. And here's the final look of the monthly page, which I love how it turned out. I do believe I am doing an extra spread in this setup that I haven't done normally in my 2022 setups. But I forgot to add in the phrase stickers. And it's so funny because when I added in the phrase stickers in my 2023 setup, it just finished off the page. So it really just made the page all come together. So I'm really happy that I have a bunch of those, and I feel like I will always include them now in my setups, because again, I just feel like it just completes the look. Anyways, so moving into my budgeting page, which this page is normal. I have normally always had this in my monthly setups, and on the right hand side is where I track our paychecks that we get, and then on the left side is where I track our bill payments and then just any notes that I have. So very similar to how I did the the left side of the cover page where I added in these 2 chunks of, I guess, 2 pieces of paper of scrapbook paper. I did the same thing for this. My bills section, I literally type out or write out my like 10 bills that I have, their due dates and what the minimum payments are. Or, for hydro and that sort of thing, I just write down what's due and the date that it's due. So I don't need a whole lot of room for that. And then I also have a spot for notes, really just of anything, extra that we spent or extra that's due, or if I owe anybody money, that somebody, purchased something on our behalf and I have to pay them back, anything like that. So there's really not a whole lot of stuff that I put in my notes section. So I really don't need a whole lot of room. And sometimes I don't even write anything. So I can just write a little blurb of, how we did for money that month or whatever I'm feeling like writing in, or sometimes I leave it blank. 9 times out of 10, I leave it blank if I don't have anything to write in there. So, but yeah, these pages always come together pretty quickly because I can't do a whole lot of decoration on the right-hand side because I use majority of this. I did do a little cluster in the middle this time around of just washi tape and some stickers. And I really like how, it just added some design on the right-hand side just because the left-hand side is so heavy. I like that I was able to do a little subtle look on the right-hand side here. And yeah, then, this page is completed and I'll move on to my next spread, which my next spread is my expenses spread. So it's the new spread that I will do for this monthly setup that I don't normally do. But I am anticipating to do this for every month because in my 2023 setup, I have an overview of our expenses. I at first was contemplating not going over what I wrote in pen just yet because I've never done this page before. I didn't necessarily want to go in pen if I wasn't sure how it's going to work for me, but I didn't want it to be incomplete looking. And then I just figured if there's something that doesn't work for this month, then I'll just change it for next month. So again, I type out the title expenses on the left-hand side. And what I'm going to keep track is the date, the description of what it was and what kind of category I'm going to put it in, the amount, and then if I put it on debit or credit, which is the last column there, I did as a check mark of if I used debit or credit for it. And then on the right-hand side, I kind of gave enough room on the left side and then on the top of the right side to write down all of the expenses. I feel like I might go in every other day and just kind of summarize things. Because I know I put a date there, but if over the weekend I go to Tim Hortons 2 or 3 times, I don't want to write out 2 or 3 times. I don't know. Maybe I'll compare to how many purchases were made last January. I'm just nervous that I'm not going to have enough room. So that's why I want to kind of clump together things over a couple of days. Maybe I'll go in pencil and start to write everything out in pencil before I do it in pen, just in case I do run out of room. I'm not sure. Again, I'm not sure how it's going to work because I've never done it before. So I'm just hoping that I do have enough space. But anyway, so on the right-hand side at the bottom, I have the starting balance for the month and then our ending balance for the month. And then underneath the washi tape, which is where our totals are going to kind of be. I say our because my husband and I's money is all combined. So that's why I keep saying ours, not like me and you, but me and my husband. Anyway, so on the right side is underneath the washi tape is going to be for totals. I have total expenses that I will, on the left side there on the bottom, I will total each category. I didn't write the category out just yet because I'm not sure how I'm going to, categorize everything just yet. And then I have total income, total expenses, and then what the difference is. So hopefully, because, we use credit, I'm just really hoping that, our expenses don't outweigh our income. really want to keep track. I really want to be mindful of where our money is going, because I feel like a lot of the time it's just kind of like, oh, we got paid and where did all the money go? But I feel like that's for everybody. But anyways, I just want to be more intentional with our money and just know where it's going, and it not always be like, I got paid X amount of money, but where did it go? Anyways, so moving on to my favorite spread to do for every single month, just because I think it's the best looking spread when it's all completed. And it is my memories page as well as my mood board. I know that I have kind of done already like mood boards, because I've, for my January title page here, I did do a cluster, and, I've done a lot of little clusters, but I still love to do a mood board. I also print off a lot of stickers every time from Pinterest. So I always have tons and tons of leftovers that I've kind of all put into a box that I will use just for journaling, and just creative journaling randomly. I'll use, extras that I have. Sometimes I actually have been using my extras recently for my reading journal that I haven't shared yet. But yeah, so I do use all the extra photos that I print out and don't use in the setups itself. So I just wrote out memories just kind of across. I opted not to do the craft paper, not necessarily sure why, but maybe just to be a little different. And yeah, did a little cluster. My phrase sticker says, live, create, tell the story. Very soothing for that page. And then I'm happiest when I'm with you. And then again, that's just my monthly, memory page, gratitude, anything that I kind of want to write down for what's happening that day. I've actually been also very consistent with my morning pages on my iPad. And I mainly was very intentional about that for December daily, which I do plan to still record a December daily. Hopefully, it's something that you guys will still be interested in seeing in January if I'm not quite able to get it out in December, just because, we're December 29th when I'm recording this voiceover. So, I say December 29th, but it's at 12:48 a.m. So, and this video will go out later today / the 29th. So yeah, there's not a whole lot of time left, but it'll most likely be the beginning of January. I know I had more intentions of posting out posting lots more videos in December, but December is just always so hectic. But I do want to take this quick opportunity to thank everyone who has watched who has watched my 2023 monthly setup or yearly setup, sorry. A lot of you have liked that video. So thank you. Thank you very much. And for all of the new subscribers that have come from that video, welcome and thank you, because that is just freaking unreal. And I'm very grateful for that. That's just, that's unreal. But I didn't get to tell you too much about my mood board there, but as you saw it all come together. Again, I love mood boards. I love that I put the moose there, just because he's pretty cool. But so in case you missed it, the phrase stickers that I added on my mood board, life was meant for a great adventure. We are fearless, independent, and original. Make it happen, and you can never have too much happy. And then now we're going into my final spread for this setup, and it's my weekly setup. And I opted to go back to my normal, the weekly setup that I use most often, and it's a single page weekly, just to not to go through so many pages in my journal all the time. B, I don't always write a whole lot of things in this journal, and it's just less to write, I need less white space, blank space to write, because really I just kind of have a checklist every week, and then on the top there is where I would put any appointments and stuff that I have, for anything. I know I have a doctor's appointment not until January 19th, and then I also have to take my cat for a follow-up. And this is the final look of the weekly spread, and then at the end there I'm going to do the final flip through to show you all of the final pages all come together. So again, if you're here because you watched my 2023 setup, again, welcome and thank you so much for watching that video. I really hope you enjoyed it. I also hope you enjoyed this one, and if you stuck it through with me all the way up until this point, thank you so much for making it this far. And again, hope you like, comment, share, subscribe, do all the things, and I'll see you very soon in my next one. Bye.